Hey guys, it's Matt, welcome to SpeedTutor, and today we're going to be looking at creating this snow particle effect and creating various variations on being able to customize it and make it in a really short space of time. So be sure to let me know what you think of this tutorial. Come and support me on Patreon if you want to get access to over 115 different scripts and assets you can't find anywhere else. So let's get into it. So what we can do to get started is we can right click on the hierarchy, choose effects and choose particle system, and we'll just get a default particle system. You may want to rotate this particle system further down the line when we go through this tutorial because you may get your snow going upside down or something like that. First of all, you want to look at the shape of the particle system. You want to go to the shape parameter and set that to box. You want to set your scale to something like 12 on the X, 1 on the Y, and then 12 on the Z, and you get it spread out across the scene that you can see here. You can have this based on whatever size that you want to use it for. So we can close up shape for now, and we can go to the settings right at the top, which will be just titled particle system. You can set the start speed to 0 if it isn't already, just to slow down the overall look of the particle system. You can look at the start size, and you can click the drop down next to start size and set that to random between two constants, and you can set that between 0.05 and 0.2. It's just so we'll get a slight variation of the size of our particles and keeping them quite small because they should just be subtle. We're going to go to velocity over lifetime, tick that box, and you can see that whatever we're set to, we want to make this go down as if the snow is falling. So what we can do to add some variation to this is click the drop down on the linear and set the random between two curves, and you can set the top from -1 to -2 or -1 to -3, and we just get some very slow subtle falling that we want. You want to go to the emission tab and you want to set the emission to 100, so we get a much more thicker, and the more you add to the emission, the more particles you will actually get. And then what we can do is we can go to color over lifetime, tick that box, select the color option, and then we'll get some default points. You can look at the 2 points at the top, and they will both be specifically for the alpha value. We can just add some points just inside each of the two here. We can select the ones on the outside and just set the alpha to 0, just so that we get a very subtle, nice fade in and fade out for our particle effect. If you want to have a little variation on the size, you can just set the size of a lifetime, so we can tick that, and then you can just click the little cog. You can just select a curve or select to create a new one, and we can adjust our curve by dragging the first point all the way down to the bottom, and then we're just going to add a point at about 0.2 and drag that all the way up to the top, just roughly like so. And then we're just going to pull this anchor down to even it out a little bit. Select the bottom and just curl this around slightly, because then it will create a very subtle increase in size as it fades in, and then as it goes it will just get smaller, and make sure that it fades out and we don't get any harsh popping around. And the last thing that we can do is we can click to add noise, which means that we can have various different sort of looks of it, so we can set it. So if it was as high as something like 5, you can see that if we had a blizzard look about our snow, that's what we could do. Or maybe even if these were flies or things buzzing around. But if we want something very nice and subtle, we can keep it low on something about 0.2. And of course, you can adjust all these settings as you go along to create various different effects. So be sure to come and support me on Patreon to get access to over 115 different scripts on projects you can't find anywhere else. Come and join me on Discord. Come and check out my new website, which has discount codes if you become a patron. So thank you so much to all my patrons that have supported, and everybody else who comes to watch the video. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.